Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from Hawaiian paradise on the beautiful big island of Hawaii. Yay, everyone. Just a big hooray. Oh my goodness. The amazingness that has come up in this week. It is it's so incredible. I don't know. Um, oh yeah, you guys don't even know. I ended up letting all of my staff go on Friday, or on Thursday. On Friday, we had a nice big breakfast um, and loving each other up and everything. Um, and so now it's just me and Tony running Miracle Botanicals, which has been really fun so far. So we went to a festival. It's kind of like a festival. Every Sunday, there's this huge party out at the lawn, just this huge party. You might call it a gathering. I don't know. Sometimes when people hear party, they're thinking of like doing a bunch of cocaine or something. But it's out on the lawn with a beautiful view and a drum circle. And we were out there with our little tent selling essential oils. It was really fun. Also, just the transition of it all. And, I've been talking with a lot of people. I've noticed that people have had more upset kind energies going with the transition. It's very transitory right now. That's just what I notice. I mean, nothing about astrology or anything, but I think it's in the astrology too, just from my astrology kind friends. So things on the surface are changing, like a lot of things are changing. And for people, that's bringing up depression, that's bringing up a sense of failure. That's another thing. um you know and I'm just here to remind everyone that the reason we're having the experiences that we're having is because they're maximally beneficial to our mind. What we need is to awaken from dreaming, but we think we need certain things in the dream. That's not true. Whatever we seem to have is exactly what we need at all the time. Oh, I love you. What are you jealous about? That's funny, Golem. I love you. Yeah, Maria. I've noticed, and also a lot of creative energy. So it's like this: if you can settle down and just let the changes, flow as they do, you're going to see a lot of creativity too. I mean, that's the only thing that's really blocking it. And when you're sensing changes, it's almost like a newness and of course unknown, right? It's always unknown, but we like to think we know. And when we think we don't know, then we get really scared. And that's the way we're programmed. But there's no need for fear in something like this. And that doesn't mean to beat yourself up if you find yourself feeling fearful. The sense that there's fear is a call for compassion. Okay, so any sense that there's fear, whether you perceive it within another person or you perceive it within yourself, and it's always coming from yourself, even if you think it's in another person. And that comes in really, really helpful when you're talking with a person and they seem like they're really fearful. When you're aware that the fearful sense is actually coming from your energy field, you can allow compassion for that and thereby be released from it yourself. And then you share. It's like an extension from there. And that's nothing that you have to do because it's just automatic. You just automatically share and you open the way for people to see. Isn't that so fun? Without even saying anything or doing anything. It's just that, what you're doing is you're making a choice for peace that's always present. It's perfect peace that's always present. It doesn't have anything to do with your circumstances. So a lot of people seem to be getting into trouble right now because, they were focused on the manifestation as if the manifestation is showing them their value. It's not showing you your value. It's not showing you whether you've done anything wrong, whether you've made any wrong choices in the world. Your reaction to it is showing you that you have made a mistake in thinking. Your reaction to it only. So, that means that any manifestation could take place in your perception. You don't have to be reacting to it. So it's not as if you shouldn't be reacting to it. That's not what I'm saying. You don't have to be reacting to it, but you're choosing certain thoughts that you've been conditioned to keep on pursuing. Okay, so it is really a simple choice, and you don't see that you have that choice because it seems like pursuing the thoughts is the only way you're going to get free, and that is the conditioning. See, so again, it's not in the manifestation. So if there seems to be a manifestation of something that you don't want, the thing that you're mistaken about is that you do want it, but it's not worthy of you. You do want it, but it's not worthy of you. And you want it because you keep pursuing it. See, that's what's showing that you want it. So if you decide, hey, I don't want this anymore, like say, hey, I don't want this reaction to be real anymore. I don't want this to be real, what I've made real. You don't have to keep it because you made that real, whatever you're reacting to. So you don't have to keep that. So there's an idea that you need a body. For instance, let's say somebody passes away. There's an idea that you need that body. Are you willing to see that you're mistaken about that? That the body really never was? Are you willing to see that? Because in that you'll have relief. You'll be released from that sadness about seeming like you lost a body. You're not going to feel like you lost. You're going to feel like you gained from the relating that you had in when they were embodied and the relating that you have now. That's the thing. If you feel like you've lost something, then you can't communicate. You can't communicate. It's all one. It's all you. How can you communicate with, let's say, that person? Okay. How can you communicate with, let's say, your mom, right? If you are believing that they are gone or you lost something, see, they're not in that vibration, they're not in that kind of frequency with you where you're feeling like you lost something. They're in a sense like everyone gains all the time. So it's like to resonate with that frequency, you have to be at that frequency. If you're feeling like you lost something, you've been mistaken. If you're feeling like you lost that goes for relationships and everything. And I apply that to the relationship that I already have, because I have from time to time over a 28-year span of being in a relationship with the same person, had a sense of fear of losing that person. And, in just that sense of fear of losing that person, I allow it right there. So I don't resist the painful feeling and wait to lose a body. I mean, bodies, they're passing. We made them to pass away. I mean, just like, getting attached to like a cloud in the sky or something. I mean, bodies last way longer in the illusion of time than a cloud, but it's the same kind of concept. It's like getting attached to that. That's not what it really is. It's not really that body. That one that that spark of the divine that it's not in a body. It was never in a body, right? And whenever whomever you're relating with, you're always relating only with yourself. So the form changes. It's always changing. The form is always going through some sort of transitions, and at certain times it seems like it's going through more of a transition. Like this weekend when I transitioned to having 4 employees in my office doing all shipping and everything like that, to it being just my husband now. And my whole transition, a parent life changed just in this past week. And I didn't know it was going to occur like that. I knew something was on the horizon. I didn't know how quickly it was going to be. I know, it's like, yay. Yeah, when I broke the news to my employees, I felt really happy about, everything that's coming for everyone. Like, I just felt real excited about it, and just communicated to them, hey, I love you guys, I love to keep you around, but at this time we're not selling enough essential oils to even cover payroll. So here we are, me and Tony, and we don't know how it's going still. We have no idea. We're in a total transitionary. We never really do, but we seem to have an idea sometimes. And, even in the seeming idea, with a seeming idea of certainty, it's always any comfort that you take in an idea of certainty. Look at that, okay? Because it's always drawing its opposite. When you take comfort in an illusion, it's always bringing around its opposite, okay? Because that's what this is all about. It's a polarity-driven dream. So things just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So the way to even them out, and what I see as what Buddha called the middle path, is where we just embrace whatever feeling it is that's arising, that's attaching it to a person, place, or thing, some kind of outcome, right? And just look at the feeling and be honest with yourself that you're using that thing to get that feeling. That thing does not actually have any power to give you the feeling, but you're using that thing, you're propping it up in the perception to get the feeling. See, in that way, you can enjoy the comfort, you can enjoy the feeling without an attachment to it. So, things are going to fluctuate, but by taking that middle path like that, where you're going into the feeling sense. And, I took Vipassana meditation. That's a Buddha teaching. And it's all about going into the body sense. That's what it's all about, because we're reacting from the body sense. And in that, it's being made as if it's real to us. So it's like we break down the reality of it by looking to the first manifestation of a meaningless thought. And that's a body sense, okay? That's the first manifestation. So you're looking at the feeling. Let's say you took comfort in a sense of certainty. Okay, let's say you got life insurance. Okay. Let's say it like this. This just came into my mind. This is fun. So say you got this person and you got this body, and this is, maybe it's called your husband. Okay, and it's really working for you. It's taking care of like any kind of financial instability that you had, because he works, and you also got a life insurance out on him. So like if he croaks or something, you're still going to have a bunch of money. So let's say you're taking comfort in the illusion of that. Okay. By the way, I don't have any life insurance on my husband, but he does seem like, he is the kind of guy where when you're with him, it does seem like, whoa, whatever goes on. In fact, if it's an apocalypse, that's the dude, right? He's always like carrying stuff and like setting me up for farmer's market. He just sets the whole thing up. He sets all the, how to get the essential oils and the tent and the tables and everything like that. So, say you get the sense that you got this certainty in this person, you got this certainty in this body, and that feels really comforting to you. So that comfort, it's not a problem. It's just looking at it, because here's how it goes. You get the sense of comfort, and then you'll project fear still. Okay, because it doesn't matter what you set up in the illusion to make it seem like you have certainty. You know that there's no certainty. You know that. So you project fear around that. All right. So you're projecting fear while you're taking the comfort. It's kind of like an ego comfort. It's not a real comfort. So you just watch that and just notice that. That's all. Notice what you're doing, because in everything you're doing something to yourself. And this is all day long. Like you're always doing something in yourself, and including in your dreams. Okay, I got comments here. Okay, let's see what's going on. You being in heaven. Oh, thank you, Golem. Oh, well, there's nothing to be jealous about there, because you're actually in heaven. And you're getting the perception. You're getting the perception that there is something other than heaven is due to just a mistake. It's just a mistaken belief. Okay. And that mistake plays out over and over again, with these different forms, seemingly different. It's the same thing, but it shows itself in different forms. Or let's say you interpret the same thing into different forms. You interpret the same mistaken self-belief into all these different forms. So everything you get a load of, everything you think you see, you actually projected it, and you don't know what it means, because the meaning that you think it has, you gave to it. Okay. So it's like when you take the feeling, that unreality, that feeling of fear of losing a body, let's say, to the truth, you get released from an upset feeling. And that's really all you want, because that's who you are, is joy. It's perfect peace. It's unwavering happiness. It doesn't really matter what seems on the surface. Oh, I love you too, Angela. Oh, yay, Golem. I'm glad you're laughing. That's perfect. Think of it as a comedy show, okay? That's what it actually is. It's all a comedy show. Even when people are trying to be serious, they're just kidding. So, I was at another festival. It's been a festival-y kind of weekend. I was at another festival that was in a big street. It was a big old street festival, and just walking by, and I stopped to let a man pass, and I just stood there and I watched him, and he just walked right past me, and he didn't even look at me at all. And I go, oh my goodness, that is just so sweet. And it reminds me of what people say about there being background characters. Now, I'm not saying that there are background characters in the sense that these aren't God. It's all God. It's definitely all God. Okay. I know people talk about these background characters as being soulless. Okay. So it can't really be that way, because there's nothing but God. So the way you're perceiving them may be soulless, and it's soulless, not soulless. The way you're perceiving them may be like that. And that would only be because, they're playing out a part for you in your dream, maybe a background character in your dream. That doesn't mean that they're not God and the love of God and have a gift for you. And so if your attention focuses on them as more than a background character, and how do you know that your attention focused on them as more than a background character? Your attention focused on them. Okay. Once you're light on them, they're no longer a background character for you. Okay. Because now you're making up stories. Okay. Now you're making up stories about them. They don't actually exist like that. Everyone's just the same. Everyone is exactly you. Okay. You'd like to visit Hawaii one day? Well, here's what I tell people who would like to visit Hawaii. For one thing, it's not a big deal. Okay. It's really not a big deal. You just go on like Expedia, like you would fly anywhere, and you just go type in Hawaii, and then you go to Hawaii. Okay. And if you want to visit me, I'm on the big island of Hawaii. And yeah, if you come over here, let me know, because I love to make some time for you and show you around the gardens and show you some lava and stuff like that. The other thing, if you're in the kind of scarcity mindset, and this is a scarcity mindset, okay? I wasn't raised in the kind of family or with the kind of upbringing that would have given me the sense of worthiness to allow myself to visit Hawaii much less live in Hawaii. Okay. I wasn't instilled with that kind of confidence in myself. Okay. And really, it comes down to your mind, because there is no place. There's no Hawaii. There's no place. Okay. So the sense that I had, and is that was for like rich people. Maybe I would be rich one day and I would go, I don't know. But then, in my dream, I met this dude, Tony, the same dude I'm with. And he had already been to Hawaii, and he was like, oh yeah, it's no big deal to go to Hawaii. You just book a ticket and you go over there. And I go, oh, well, cool. Let's do that. So we booked a ticket, and then we booked another ticket, and then we booked another ticket. And then we go, let's move to Hawaii. And then it seemed like, when I said that, let's move to Hawaii, my husband was like, are you kidding me? You know how expensive Hawaii is? Like, we're going to move to Hawaii. Really, do we have enough money to move to Hawaii? That was the vibe. I don't remember the exact words. I'm projecting it anyways. So I go, I don't know, but I'm going to go back and check out what's going on. So I checked on VRBO, or no, whatever real estate thing, maybe Zillow or something. And the prices were really reasonable here. And what I was thinking was, wow, this is my favorite place too. It is my favorite place. So right now, it's my favorite place on the earth. I seem to always live in, I say, my favorite place on the earth. So funny. Right now, it's my favorite place on the earth. And it was just, the prices were ridiculously reasonable. So we just like go, well, it's a no brainer. We're moving to Hawaii, So it comes along with opening up. Like, my mom, she would always be like, no way, that's not for us. We don't go to Hawaii. We don't do stuff like go to Hawaii. And, I was just talking with someone from Shopify today, and she was like, oh yeah, like Hawaii, like I could go to Hawaii. I'm like, well, why couldn't you go to Hawaii? It's just like going anywhere. It's so funny. It's fun. And then on the other hand, it's awesome that not that many people come to Hawaii. you don't see that many people around here. It's really rural, especially where we are. We got volcanoes and stuff, and we got rain. Like right now in the summer, it's been a really rainy and cold summer. Like today's the first day I put like a half shirt on in a while, and even my fingertips are still a little cold. I tend to run a little cold anyways, but still, it's not like a hot summer day like people are going to expect when they come to Hawaii. And you never know what you're going to get. You can get a hot summer day in January, right? Or a hot summer couple weeks in January. It's just like totally volatile. And it's on a volcano. So yeah, that's my favorite place. So it's a thing like we just take on the conditioning of the world. We take on the conditioning of the people around us. You can see that we have this way, like we go, we just follow along with it. And our feelings tell us that it's true. So if you feel into the sense, I wish is not will. Okay. Wish is something different. You can say wish is a tool of the ego, because it's as if I don't really have it right now. Where's Hawaii? Where is Hawaii anyways? Like, where is Hawaii? It's in your mind. It's not in a place outside of yourself, right? So the sense, I wish I could go to Hawaii, that is actually giving you an opportunity. Now that's become the means. That's the means now, that feeling, I wish, because I wish is not the same as knowing that you have it, is it? So the I wish is an upset feeling, actually, and that's what makes it the means. So you use the I wish for having, allowing yourself to have now, and you're released from the wishing and you're having. So, that's kind of like how I spend my time. If there's an upset feeling or a sense of not having something, I allow compassion. I allow myself to be released from the sense of not having. That scarcity consciousness. It's a sense of lack. It's what brings on all illusions of poverty, starvation, all that kind of stuff. All the worldly illusions are brought on by our upset feelings. Okay. It was kind of surprising to my friends. Hi, Kaya. Welcome, my love. Aloha, Asana. Oh, thank you for letting me call you Asana too. I love you. So kind of surprised my peeps at Wisdom Dialogues in person at Hawaiian Sanctuary, where I am every Friday afternoon, 3 to 5 p.m. That's on the Big Island of Hawaii. Kind of shocked my peeps, because I told them, yeah, I have a friend who's I just responded to, like, right before Wisdom Dialogue started. I just responded to a friend, and I said, she told me she was this is it. It was like a really dramatic email. It was like, this is it. She's ending it. She's going to commit suicide now. Something like that. Something, at least that's the way I perceived it. See, that's the thing too. It's like when someone sends you an email, you get a feeling. And the words have an interpretation for you. Okay, so that's the sense I get. She's going to kill herself, or at least she's thinking in those terms. I don't get the sense either way. Is she or is she not going to kill herself? No, I don't get a sense either way. I just get a sense that she's thinking in those terms. There's definitely an upset feeling going on there. So, and the upset feeling is within my body sense always. I cannot perceive it without projecting it. Okay. So I gave that to her. I taught her that. So I'm going, okay, well, there's nothing wrong. And, there's some thoughts that automatically come to mind. And she even said some of them in the emails. She says, you probably won't even respond to me because it doesn't really matter. My friend emails me quite often, emails me and texts me pretty often. I don't respond to them a bunch of the time. I get so many texts and emails, just so you guys know. I don't respond to them all. Sometimes they catch me and then I will, and then that's how it goes. So anyway, she knows that. And she's like, I probably won't respond to this anyways, but anyways, here's what I'm doing and here's what I'm going through. So I let her know that that's not her reality. All those things that she just said, that's not her reality, and she doesn't need to listen to the ego. And then I asked her, because she's someone who really likes block therapy, like I do. Okay, so I go and have you done that new thigh one? Have you done that new one with the dowel for your thighs? I asked her. So then she comes back and with a sense of bitchiness. That's what I'm perceiving, right? So I know I'm projecting it. A sense of bitchiness. Like, you don't think I already know that? And fuck block therapy. I'm not doing block therapy anymore. Something like that. Something about block therapy being purgatory, and kind of like, fuck you, Hope. So then I went to Wisdom Dialogues. I saw that message. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. So I went to Wisdom Dialogues and I was telling my peeps in Wisdom Dialogues, I was like, yeah, I got this friend. She's, she thinks she's suicidal. And yeah, I just want to say right now, I don't know which way she's going with it, but if she goes towards suicide, I am going to laugh my fucking ass off, And so everyone like, what, what the hell? Well, here's the thing, you guys, look, suicide. Okay, the reason why it's scary and the reason why it's coming up is because we made it scary. Okay, the reason why it's scary is because we're reacting to it. Okay, we react to it as just an idea. Okay, we get these suicidal thoughts because there's a suicidal thought that underlies the whole perception that we're having right now. It's a suicidal thought, thinking that we separated from reality. Okay, so we're all getting a suicidal thought. A lot of us are good at covering it up. We say that I've heard people say, I don't get any suicidal thoughts. And I'm like, very interesting. You know what that tells me? That tells me that they're not that perceptive yet. Okay, because this is built on a suicidal thought and it's just circulating the mind and it's not personal. Okay, so our perceptual capabilities are closed off to what's going on here. And what's going on here is circulating thoughts about how guilty and how bad we are and how this is our life and how this is our reality. Okay. I mean, if this is your reality, if this was your reality, you're justified in having a suicidal thought. Okay? Because everything in the perception goes to death with a bunch of suffering along the way. So you're justified in having a suicidal thought if you believe this world is real, aren't you? Okay. The thing is, if you're willing to see through the illusion of the world, then you know there's really no justification for it. There's really no justification for a suicidal thought because the basis of it isn't real. The world isn't real. That's why there's no justification for it. If the world were real, yeah, shit. Where's this thing going? Nowhere? Shit. Off me right now. See, so the pretense is trying to make the world real so you can escape from that suicidal thought. I mean, you're trying to make it like these things are meaningful, these things that you can get in the world, these things that you can do for yourself, these things that you can do for your body in the world. You're trying to make them as if they're meaningful, as if they mean something. That doesn't mean you wouldn't appear to take care of the body. That's not up to you. You're never taking care of the body. You don't know how. Okay? You can't make sense of this. You don't know how to take care of your body. That's like, just admit that. And then watch. I don't know how to take, I don't know how. Oh, that means all the things I thought about what's good for me, what's poisonous for me, what's going to hurt me, what's going to help me, I was wrong about all that. So then I could just go with guidance, inspiration in the moment, knowing that everything is a tool of the mind. Nothing actually does anything here. Nothing actually does anything. Nothing actually has an effect. One of my friends asked, well, what making the determination that something works? Like you could say, okay, let's apply that to block therapy. Okay, you take a block and a block of wood, and you go into the apparent tension in the apparent body, which is really a symbol of fear, and you sense a relief, some release. Okay, that works. Okay, for now, because everything's changing. It's so shifty. It's not in that thing. It's in your willingness to be released. It's actually in your willingness. You're not even going to find yourself getting a block and doing that stuff without a willingness to release. I mean, we've done a test with this. Me and one of my friends, she got a super heavy duty upset feeling, which is, was just all just flooding in. I'm like, hey, how about getting on the block right now and doing the belly position? She's like, okay. She couldn't do it because she wasn't willing to give up that upset feeling. She was pursuing thoughts. As soon as she was willing to stop pursuing the thoughts, then she could, because your attention has to go to the place in the body sense where you're actually holding on to that thought. Like you're gripping on right there. It's really interesting. So you can't have any release unless you're willing. It's like while the blocks seem to appear in the illusion, and you seem to be using them, use them, right? But don't get attached to them. I mean, you could see it's just natural that the ego gets attached to stuff too. I have found such relief and release through this practice that I found myself following a thought about the blocks, like how I'm going to take them with me when I go somewhere and all this other stuff. And I'm just kind of like, just take whatever thought I gave myself. I've been giving myself thoughts of the day. I started at the beginning, Course in Miracles again, with Karen Worth's meditations, which I really appreciate. She's a sweetie. So she does a half hour. Her name is Karen Worth, and I think it's like Awakening the Mind or something like that. She does a half hour meditation / contemplation for each lesson on A Course in Miracles. So I went back to lesson number 1, and I just like put my headphones on early in the morning, usually before I have any other kind of activity or anything like that. And remember, I don't have a choice in this. So I'm just sharing an experience. It's not like I said, I'm going to do this and I'm doing this. No, it's just like, ooh, that sounds good. Ooh, that feels good. Ooh, slide in there. Right. So, so I'm chilling out for like a half hour. Well, a half hour exactly, not like headphones. I got my Saluma. I got some light therapy going on. I just really like the warmth, and I don't know. It's supposed to be something good for you. Doesn't matter to me. I'm just drawn to think to certain things and let myself use them. Okay. So, anyways, beautiful reading of that lesson for the day. This is Karen Worth's half-hour meditation, reading of the lesson for the day, and then a short contemplation by her, okay, on that particular lesson. And then after that, you're encouraged each time to sink into your heart and let the contemplation happen for you. And whenever you're not contemplating, what are you doing? You're following a thought, right? So there's a thought for the day. Like today, the thought is, God did not create a meaningless world. No, not Karen Worth, I don't think. I think it's worth, WORTH, like worthiness. So the thought for the day is, God did not create a meaningless world. Okay. So to me, that has a lot of meaning. I've been through, I'm on day, I don't know, 14 or something like that. So I've been through a series. To me, that just has a lot of meaning for me. God did not create a meaningless world, because any thought that arises within that contemplation period, any thought that arises is brought to that thought that God did not create a meaningless world. Okay. I know that those thoughts that are arising in my contemplation are meaningless thoughts unless they complement the original thought. God did not create a meaningless world. If they're anything about my life or planning or anything like that, I don't mind them. I'm happy about them. I just take them to the thought that God did not create a meaningless world, or whatever thought it happens to be for that day. See? And so that kind of like trains your mind. That's what I notice. It trains my mind. So throughout the day, like I'll notice when I'm over there bottling oils, well, I'm not bottling, I'm packaging the oils for our customers. And if I'll notice an upset feeling arise, which I did, notice an upset feeling arise, and then just take that right to the thought, because there's a thought going on that's projecting the upset feeling. So just like think the thought, God did not create a meaningless world. If I'm having an upset feeling, that's a meaningless thought about a meaningless world, and it gets neutralized. So it doesn't get projected. It doesn't get projected into the oils and the packaging and the customer and the world in general. Okay. Onto my body and into the world in general. Yes. Because it's all the same thing. See, your upset feeling is the first manifestation of a meaningless thought about a meaningless world. Okay. That upset feeling, that's the first manifestation. Out of that, the world is projecting. That's kind of like the mother of the manifest world, that feeling in the body sense, that sense in the body. Okay. And then out of that comes the world. All right. And the mother of that sense is a meaningless thought. And you have a choice. Anytime you get an upset feeling, it's just that simple. It's within whatever it is you seem to be doing. That's why I don't mind what I'm doing. I will notice the ego minding what I'm doing. I know it's the ego minding what I'm doing because I am not capable of minding what I'm doing. So if I seem to mind what I'm doing, that's only the ego, and I could be released from that right away. Okay. So everything can be used, because everything can be used by the Holy Spirit for healing. Okay, let's go to Goda's question now. This is going to be fun. I know it. All right. Goda, what are you saying over here, Goda? 4 wisdom dialogues. I am experiencing a huge sense of embarrassment. That's one of my favorite ones. I love that I'm behind in life. Oh, that is so cute, Goda. You're behind. I feel disappointed for not being where people at my age normally are. For the most part, I'm living the life I once dreamed of. traveling, making art for a living, etc. Yet I keep coming back to my family's house half of the year due to running out of money. What follows is also a strong feeling of longing for my childhood, as though I'm attempting to relive those years in some way. But then I tell myself it'll never be the same, and that I've grown up and I have to figure my shit out. It's like I'm romanticizing the past and feeling homesick for my childhood. The stories that are coming up, I feel I can only afford to live out of my tent or Prius. I love living in a community in Hawaii, but then I feel I can't have space to be alone or make my art pieces without the mildew affecting the cotton. Ah, I have been making up crazy shit in my head like I'll just marry a rich guy and that way I'll be taken care of. Oh my gosh, I was just talking about that earlier. It's so fun. I know it's not the way, but the thoughts of sacrificing some of my parent needs are there. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. So embarrassment, that's just another upset feeling. It's one of my favorites because it comes on so strong, and it's always so it's just so obviously delusional. Okay. For one, it's like a red hot um sense, and it's on an idea that other people are looking at you. There aren't even other people. You're projecting other people to get a load of what they might what they might make of you, but you're making them up at the same time. Okay. These feelings, they're really common. I hear this so often from people. And then on the other end of it, the ones who you think made it, they feel like they've missed out on something too. It's like, they feel behind in different ways too. That's just the thing. That's just an ego thing. So, I've talked a lot about making it all one thing, not a bunch of different things. The embarrassment is an upset feeling. Make it one thing. It's the same as everything. It doesn't mean anything. There's a lot of story on it. Doesn't mean anything. I'm living the life I once dreamed of. Yeah, that's meaningless too. Traveling, making art for a living. It doesn't matter to you. And it's fun and you can play with it. See, but how can you play and have fun with it? Look, I'm living the life of my dreams. That's something you can play and have fun with. And then look, there's the ego thought coming in. Yeah, but I'm not where I should be. It's like, it's silliness. You can see the silliness. And then you can play and have fun with all of it. Oh, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Good. That's awesome. I'm not where society says I'm supposed to be because I trained society to tell me where I'm supposed to be. That's hilarious. Yet I keep coming back to my family's house. Great. You know why you keep coming back to your family's house? Your family's house isn't a thing. You keep coming back in your mind to your family's house because those interactions, whatever's going on with your family's house, that's maximally beneficial. The story about running out of money and all that bullshit, it's bullshit. Doesn't mean a thing. Doesn't mean a thing. You need the lessons that you're getting. So, this is where the innocence gets lost. It's like not just allowing the lessons to play out as they do. Oh, run out of money. Back to my parents' plush ass house with a big ass cat that looks amazing and is super sweet. It's like you could just be innocent in that and be having fun, but for the self-judgment. See? And look, you have a choice. I know it doesn't seem like it. I know when you feel like you're locked in. And that's just because you've been following an upset thought, though, that makes you feel like you're locked into that thing. And you're just way more powerful than that. You can see right through that. You can see all the feelings that it's making up. This is just an example of listening to the ego. You're listening to the ego. What follows is also a strong feeling of longing for my childhood. Yes. Yes. You've denied your innocence. You've denied your own innocence. It has nothing to do with where you're going to live. It has nothing to do with Hawaii or the mold or anything. It's possible to live in Hawaii without mold being a problem. Okay, that's a possibility. I don't have any moldy problem. I seem to live in a really wet place. Running out of money. And if I did seem to have a mold problem, I'd have a good ass time with it. Who knows? Maybe I'd be moving. What follows is also a strong feeling of longing for my childhood, as though I'm attempting to relive. Yeah. See, so you're making the traveling and the art and all that stuff an idol. You're basically propping up an idol in your mind. You're making all that an idol, as if you need those things in order to live your childhood. That's not true. Okay. You're only not reliving or living in your childhood, in your childlike innocence, because you're taking on the ego's thoughts. It's not because of hiking or anything like that. That means nothing. The whole reason you're doing it is so that you can see that it means nothing. That stuff means nothing. Okay. But then I tell myself, it'll never be the same. You're right. It'll never be the same. It's always changing, but you remain the same. And that I've grown up. No, you haven't. And you haven't done anything. And all that changing is nothing. It doesn't touch you. And now you have to figure shit out. That's the ego. Okay, there's nothing for you to do. You start thinking that you have to figure shit out. Look, what's going on here is you're thinking you have to figure your shit out and you're not addressing the underlying feeling. When you think you have to figure your shit out, when that thought crosses your mind, you have an upset feeling. You need to get the sense of that feeling so that you can see that the thought that underlies it is completely false. There's nothing for you to do, especially figure shit out. Okay. I'm sure you've heard, like a saying, like, give it up to God, lay it down by the river, surrender your fear. This is fearful thinking. It means nothing. Homesick for your childhood. Yeah. Yeah. You've gone far away from home with these thoughts, far away from home. The stories that are coming up, I feel I can only afford to live out of my tent or Prius. Well, you know what? If it seems like you can only afford to live out of your tent or Prius, what is the problem? Wouldn't you just be living out of your tent or Prius for this moment until that changes? And everything's always changing. Everything's always changing. You're not stuck in tent or Prius. It's not that you can't afford it. You have all the money in the world. You don't seem to have the money for it right now. That means you don't need that money. The money you don't have is the money you don't need. That's always how it is. I love living in a community in Hawaii, but then I feel I can't have space to be alone or make my art pieces. Okay, so without the mildew affecting the cotton. So the sense of having your space in Hawaii, because you're making this up. So when you're thinking on living in Hawaii, you're thinking on living in Hawaii in this certain way. So that's making Hawaii that way to you. When you're thinking about living in Hawaii in this way, like you can't have your space, this is the kind of energy you're putting into the thought of Hawaii. Okay. So let yourself have release from that. Let yourself have release from Hawaii being like that, because you're just making it up. So, you could have like the feeling, what do you want in Hawaii? What do you really want in Hawaii? You want all the space? You want all the space to make your art? You want to be free from mildew? Is that what you want? What does that feel like? Because you don't really want that thing. You don't really know what you want. There's no way of you knowing what's in your best interest. But right now, you could allow yourself to have the feeling that you think you're going to get after you get that thing that you think you want. So it's really good to think you know what you want, because you can use it like that, but you don't actually know what you want. That's the thing. Okay. So then you don't turn into one of those, what are they? Frustrated manifestors, right? You don't want to be one of those frustrated manifestors that thought they actually knew what they want. You don't know what you want, but you think you do. And off of thinking that you know what you want, you can generate a really good feeling. So when you're getting the opposite, a feeling that's about the opposite of what you want, let yourself have the opposite feeling. And all that takes is knowing that this is not worthy of me. This feeling is not worthy of me. And then that allows you to open up to the feeling that is worthy of you. Okay. You'll know when you got it. It's everything that it's everything that you seem to want in a feeling right now. You got that? You're not talking to me, but guess that is that what they call a rhetorical question? I don't know. Anyways, okay, back to the question. All righty. I've been making up crazy shit in my head. Yes, you have. I'm glad you let it come out too. I'll just marry a rich guy. And that way, there it is. There's another one. Okay. I'll just marry a rich guy. That's another one. That's one of those hooks. Look, what do you have to sacrifice for that? I mean, marrying a rich guy is fucking awesome. I'm sure it's fucking awesome. I've never done it. But marrying a rich guy, I'm sure is awesome. Provided that you're not sacrificing to marry a rich guy. Right? What are you sacrificing and you really can't, you're really not capable of sacrificing, but you make a sacrifice in your mind and that sets you up for more of those sacrifice kind of expressions. Okay. So wherever you find yourself, that's awesome. If you made a sacrifice to be with the person you're with, let's say you're with a rich guy and you're like, man, that guy, I'm not attracted to him. I don't like having sex with him. I definitely don't like sucking his dick, but we get really good vacations and I could buy whatever I want. So, if you find yourself in that situation and you recognize, oh, I'm sacrificing something, don't worry about it. It's not like you have to leave, because it's not like you really sacrificed anything. You're just watching the play of the mind and how you set yourself up for sacrifice. See, you don't have a choice in whether you stay with that fucker or not. You can use that though for a distraction. You don't have to. You could just go right into the feeling, okay, this is what I do to myself. I set myself up for sacrifice and just watch, because it goes around. It keeps on going around. Yeah, you don't have to sacrifice anything because, and that also goes along with, you don't need anything. There's nothing that you need. You already have everything. You have what you need to awaken from dreaming. Everything that arises in your perception is maximally beneficial for you and for everyone else in your perception. It doesn't matter what it is that you say, whether you get embarrassed, do anything. People ask me, well, what about the worst things? Like what about if you get the perception that you murdered someone? You still have to go to forgiveness in order to see through the world. You're going to have to go to forgiveness. Okay. If you can't forgive that, and what is forgiveness again? What you thought happened didn't happen. You actually didn't kill anyone. Killing someone in a dream is not the same as killing someone. Okay. No, I'm not saying that, of course, you should go out and try to kill someone. You don't even have a choice in that anyways. It's not relevant. If you did get the perception though, because we get crazy perceptions and sometimes we get perceptions we kill a person from time to, we have perceptions we kill bugs, right? Gosh. People probably got perceptions that they killed a dog before, running him over on the street or something like that. I got a perception that I hurt a cat once with my car driving down the street, and whoa, it was like so intense, like that sense, like, oh my God, it's hardcore. I could imagine if you got the sense that you killed someone, how intense that would be. Still, the goal doesn't change because of that. The goal always remains the same. And that's to see that what you thought happened didn't happen. I have a perception, my daughter, I have a perception that I kill oysters every day. Wow. Oysters. That sounds so freaking good. I love that. Yeah. It's like that. It's like everything's killing. And you guys that like go for veganism, I don't mind veganism at all. I think it's awesome. Aloha, Goda, you came on. Aloha, Lori. I think it's awesome, whatever it is people are eating and stuff. But, that idea that it's gentler to be a vegan, it's like not true at all. Okay, you're uplifting, you're uprooting a plant in the perception. Nothing's really happening though, but that is killing. Okay, you're uprooting a plant. Okay, and it doesn't matter. That's on the other hand. And it doesn't matter. And plants are also, a lot of them are carnivorous. Okay, what they're doing under there in those roots, apparently, the way this thing is set up, it's like a whole murderous thing. Like everything's murdering everything. Okay, but it's the thing is, it's not really happening. It's occurring to you in a dream. It's not really happening. That's the difference. Does that mean you have license to go out and kill things more than you already are? Because believe me, you know, as perceptions go, you're a killer. You've been murdering everything all the time. You know, it doesn't give you anything. It doesn't give you any license. You're not doing anything. That's why I'm not afraid of it. You're not actually doing anything. No one has a choice in it. So I'm not afraid of saying, yeah, you're if you find that you killed someone, of course, if you're getting thoughts about killing someone, you need relief. Okay. If it's before killing someone, you need relief from the thought. You don't want to kill anyone. That's not how you are. You don't want to kill humans. It's not how you are. You're not wired like that. You know that the humans are on the whatever you want to say, the part of consciousness. I don't know how to say it. The humans are the ones that are using upset feelings as a means for healing the thought of separation. Okay, because we have that kind of like cognition or whatever that allows us to actually use these upset feelings and like save everything. The plants, the animals, everything. You think they give a shit about the apparent dyings? They don't even care. That's what we're projecting onto them, that they care. Okay, so you want to save them from all the dying, save all the plants, save all the animals, all of them, all the time, from ever getting killed ever. Then what you want to do is take care of your upset feelings, not be judging what's being killed on the surface. By the way, whenever you eat oysters, you kill, if you're shucking oysters, you're killing them right there. And then eating them, apparently, in the perception. And I will say that they taste the best at that time. And I could sense their appreciation, the oysters' appreciation. Okay. One of my friends, who is no longer projecting herself as a body, or at least not at this point in time, she had a really interesting dream, and it resonated with her so deeply. You know, she was so afraid of killing animals, and she also had the sense like animals were good for her, so she would eat the animals, and she would feel really bad about it. And you know, she was also open. She was willing to see something different, and it came to her in a dream where worms were popping up out of the ground, and there were birds looking for worms, and the worms were popping out out of the ground, and she could see their energies kind of like, pick me, pick me, pick me. Like these things, it's always like when they're in the perception, they're not like you think. They're there for you. They're actually there for you to eat them or whatever it is you seem to do with them. They're there for you. Kill them, eat them, whatever. They're there for you. Okay. It's only so that you can see through your own patterning. It's not for anything else. They don't mind dying for you. Okay. And all the other humans, because humans, remember, are the ones who can use upset feelings as a means for undoing the sense of separation. Okay. The animals and the plants and stuff like that, those upset feelings that you perceive on the animals and plants, you're projecting those upset feelings onto them. So you can release them from those upset feelings without your observation, without you observing them. And that includes scientific observation of the trees. I know when they observe the trees, they can see the trees are afraid of bulldozers that are coming the next day. Like they know that they're coming. No, you know the bulldozers are coming, and that's projected. Okay. So yeah, then they seem like they're scared. They're not scared at all. They're not like that. Okay. They're not equipped with ego. They're not scared. They know it's a dream. They're not equipped with ego. They're smiling and laughing and playing, even if you're eating them. They do not care. Okay, that was fun. I did not expect that to come up. Wow. And didn't really think of it in those terms before. Amazing. You see, if the world was really as we made it, it would be so horrible. I could see why anyone would want to commit suicide all the time. Gosh, everything killing everything. And in our case, the way we perceive right now on the world stage, humans are killing the shit out of each other. They're actually taking each other as a threat and killing each other because they think they're a threat. We made ourselves, we made each other, and there's only one of us, into a threat so we could be in duality against ourselves. So, if you think you perceive a world, which I'm in that boat with you too, if you think you perceive a world where humans are killing each other, that just means that you have some forgiveness to do. And anytime that crosses your awareness, you're relating with the situation. The situation isn't real, but you're relating with the situation. That's the moment to use it as a means for healing. Look, all the thoughts that cross your awareness, you're doing something with them. You're either making them real, which is the unconscious thing to do. You can say unconscious, even though it's done in consciousness. It's kind of like sleepy. It's a sleepy state. They're automatically being made real by you, or they're being denied reality by you. And it's nothing in between. It's just all day long. Every thought that arises in your mind that's about this world. And if you'll look, they repeat over and over again and over again. They make you feel tired. They make you feel tension. They're the only things responsible for making you feel illness or making you have an accident or anything at all. They're the only things. It's upset feelings. Okay. You make yourself vulnerable by believing in the thoughts that prop those up. You make your own body vulnerable to things whenever you believe that things affect other things. See? And let's go back to, okay, what works? You can still say, this was what works. Know in yourself that it works for now, for temporarily. You can even say, this is what has worked up till this point in time, because that's really even more to the point. It has worked up till this point in time. All I even can see here is the past. So you seem to kill oysters every day, but there's not really oysters. They're there for you to provide the nourishment that you think you need, that you think you have to have. It's funny, I just found myself eating way less food because I realized I don't need any nourishment. It's really interesting. Someone asked me, like, what happened to you? You just look like you lost some weight. And I go, yeah, apparently I'm losing weight. And you know what? It's funny. I was like, oh, I don't want to lose all this weight. I'm going to eat more food. And then I found myself eating more food, and then I was still losing weight. So I said, I don't need to do that. It's not, it does. And I know it has no correlation too. So it's like, I can't even like give myself the illusion that the food made me gain weight, because I know it has no correlation to anything. Lately, when I hear someone saying things negative about another person, it literally hurts inside this body. So I'm making the person talking and the one he's talking about real. You know why it hurts inside of your body. And that's really awesome, because it has always hurt whenever you got the perception of someone saying negative things. It has always hurt. You're just becoming more aware of it. Okay. And I had a feeling you might get more aware of it because you hadn't had any kind of therapy where you you access pain in the body sense. And when you, and I know you got on a towel a couple times and put your belly down that towel, and I know what a release comes from that. So, you know, you've always, that sense has always been there with a lot of pain in the body sense. Whenever anyone talks negative about another person, it's just that you were better at covering it up, and now you want to see more. Okay, so that's just how it is. So you just, all you do is get compassion for that pain. That's all. Get compassion for that pain. Whether you're making the person talking and the one he's talking about real, that'll just be revealed to you. What is the, you'll see the underlying thought. You don't have to even say what is the underlying thought, but you know, what is this feeling? You know, let yourself have compassion for that feeling, because you're projecting right now as if that's a problem, that you're getting this perception of someone talking negatively with another person. That's all. You just get a perception. It's not like you have to go in. I remember, you know, I remind you of this really often, that you try too hard. You actually work too hard. So you don't have to work that hard. It's just like, oh, that hurts. Ouch. Have some compassion. Allow some compassion for it. See, the compassion you allow for yourself for projecting that feeling is going to be the compassion that extends to those people. Okay. If you're not allowing compassion for yourself and you're trying to figure it out for yourself, like Goda was talking about earlier, then you're just projecting. Okay. So that's easy, huh? It's all really easy, you guys. It's gotten really scary, and it can, and it's about to get scarier for people. That's the sense that I'm getting. It's gotten really scary, and it's about to get scarier for people. Not necessarily for you though, not necessarily for you. And the thing is, if you've been willing to see through the illusion, you're going to be like a beacon of light in that time when people are really freaking out. And you might find that right now in your perception, where you just have, you know, people just seem to be, wow, their patterns are coming up, their depression, they're this, they're that. I know I've had people contacting me, asking me what is going on, you know, one suicidal friend, but it's all so shifty. So to finish up on that story about my suicidal friend, I guess you have to really watch the whole 2 hours to get the whole story beginning to end. So my friend, so I got back from Wisdom Dialogues. I just kind of felt really light about it, you know, and I told I got back to the email thread where she was being really bitchy and going, don't you think I know that? After she told me, you know, how suicidal she is and stuff. And I said, you don't have to listen to that. You're just following the ego. Just get back to, I didn't even say get back to anything. I said, did you try that new block therapy one, the dowel for the thighs? And then she came back really bitchy about that. And so she said, I'm not doing block therapy. That stuff's purgatory. It's like living in purgatory or something like that. And so I replied back, I said, what? You're not going to do block therapy? Oh my God, we got to get serious about this now. And then I was just laughing so much. Like I said, I would laugh, right? So I'm just laughing with it. It's just cracking me up. So the next day she calls me and she's just laughing so hard. She's just like, I saw that email about the block therapy and I just realized I did not want to pursue the ego's thoughts anymore. I didn't want to think with the ego anymore. And I just was like, wow, I'm just out of this right now. You're welcome, Lori. I love you. I'm just out of this. Boom. That's how easy it is. That's how simple it is. It's not easy for an ego. So it's like, you know, this friend in particular had practiced a lot as far as willingness to see through. When I say practice, I guess you can say that's offering willingness, offering willingness to see through upset feelings. So she had this real heaviness, like suicidal, like, that's it, I'm ending this thing. There's no reason for me to be here anymore. Everything's all fucked up, big old story and everything. And then, I love having friends like that. I told her, well, you know, you are special in getting a response like that from me, because I don't know how I'm going to respond, but you are special in getting a response like that from me, because normally I'm not laughing right to someone's face like that when they're telling me that they're suicidal. Not all people that write me an email. It's just that you know that silliness. You can take it, you can take it. You know, she's writing to me. She's not writing to someone else. Like, she's writing to her mom. Then she wants to hear, oh, honey, please don't do that, or whatever they do. Or fuck, this again? You're going through this again? We're going to intervene, right? Or some other friend. It's like, wow. You know, to the ego is like, that might be scary. Like, oh, are you bipolar or something? Yes, we're all bipolar. Don't be afraid of that. You get really wrapped up in the ego, that means you can just be released that much more from bullshit. Doesn't really mean anything beyond that. So for you to be a beacon of light, you just have to remember that those feelings are a means to healing. Just do that. Just start practicing that all day long. If you started it before, start again. Recommit. Start again. To see through. To be the one where everyone can go to find peace and reassurance that everything is all right. Because as things go along their trajectory, the perceptions are going to get very heavy. It's just set up that way. And as the perceptions get heavy, people are going to be looking for that beacon of light. Remember what I told you about being the Christ of your world. So it's like, start right now, because that's what it is. You're teaching and learning that everything is not only all right, but is projected by you. And when you're 100% certain of that, you'll see right through it. So all the people that arise in your experience that seem to be upset or going through something, they're all asking for love, which it's your function to supply. So you know, by receiving their gift, right? By receiving their gift, that means if you're having a perception of them being upset, that means that the perception, the projection of it is coming from you. So if you'll receive their gift, they're showing you an upset feeling where you need compassion, then you can extend that teaching and they learn a different lesson from you this time. You open up their awareness without even knowing it. You open up the possibility, you open them up for more willingness without even knowing that you did. You don't even have to get a visible or somehow measurable perception of it. It's just that whenever you allow yourself to be released from the feeling that's projecting that perception of an upset person, that's the healing. And that's what's extended outward. You don't even have to do anything about it. It's like, for you, it's just really simple. doing your function, forgiving. What I thought happened didn't happen. What they seem to be going through, they're not really going through. I taught them to do that. Okay? I taught them to do that. To ease their pain comes from easing your pain, allowing your pain to be eased, allowing yourself to be released from the thoughts that make that pain seem like it's justified. Okay? Some of my friends go through, the people around me think I'm crazy or weird or something like that. And you know what? That passes. That's a passing thing. Because, you know, you get to be so constant with the way you are able to handle whatever it is that comes. With the way you always remind people that everything's all right. The way you always remind people that they're innocent. Okay, every eye will see who you are. That's how it goes. Every eye will see. And it could be in this lifetime. And at the same time, don't be in a hurry for it, because that's what makes it take longer in the illusion of time. Just enjoy the process. You can really enjoy this life, even seeming to be on a trajectory toward death, because you know what it's for. If you know what it's for, it's really a lot of fun, no matter what you seem to be going through. You could even find yourself completely bedridden and not having any sight, way to communicate, anything like that. It's just the consciousness itself and who you are as awareness, kind of like making love. And so it doesn't really matter what state you find yourself in. It's just really all so magical and precious because of what it's for. It's not precious for any other reason. It's actually completely meaningless. Everything in it is meaningless too. And that includes all of the bodies, because the teachings, they extend well beyond the body. Okay. It has preferences. One person asked me, when they asked me about my weight, they go, "You look freaking great." They're like, "Did you mean to lose weight?" And I said, "No, I didn't really mean to lose weight. In fact, it seems like I have a preference that I would have like a 10 or 15 more pounds on me. But I know my preferences aren't my preferences. I don't know how things are going." And you know, it's so funny about that one, because it's like I just let myself be released from it. And then I just don't even mind being whatever. I don't mind being whatever size. This doesn't really matter. It might be kind of a pain in the ass finding clothes, but then that's another thought that doesn't have to concern me, because God did not create a meaningless world. See? So it's like these thoughts. See how the thought, I just gave an example right there. See how the thought just comes in, I'm going to have to buy smaller clothes. It's just a meaningless thought. This doesn't mean anything. We don't even buy anything. We don't even get clothes. I apparently get a shitload of clothes, but I know I don't really get any clothes. I may not get a bunch of clothes much longer. We'll see. It does seem like there is a crunching on the money thing in my experience, which I love, because that is definitely one of the illusions that I got the sense a long time ago was for me to break through. As in, you know, I find myself reacting to it like anyone. I don't know anyone who doesn't react to that sense of money. Even people who have sworn off money, they're reacting to money too. They're reacting to it as if it's a bad thing, just reacting to money, the idea of money. So I've recognized that a long time ago. And it's fun because at this point in time, I feel like whatever it is, any kind of lack of money, it's not going to be any kind of problem for me. It's a perception. And I also know that on any money I don't have is money I don't need. I'm also open to having any kind of money I need to have to awaken the mind, but no more than that and no less than that. I'm always going to get what I need. So it's like these senses that come up are senses that the world shares. You can say we all share it. There's one of us, and we're all vibrating, like vibrating atoms, you know, and vibrating a sense of fear around money in a big way. So I've always loved it when the sense, not, I definitely haven't loved it as much as I do now. I've always loved it, but felt a lot more fearful then than I do at this point. And that's the thing about practicing this willingness. You get a lot less fearful, a lot less influenced by the world, by the things that seem to be going on in the world. So it's like you can definitely take more, and you're not going to be given any challenges that you can't handle. Now, for me, all challenges are for the ego and not for me. So any kind of challenge that I seem to be going through, that's what I'm using. I'm actually using any reaction to being challenged for healing. So my goal through going through a sense of lack around money, which only comes up from time to time. It's not like it's always there. It's like there's always this sense of like lack of money, but it comes up from time to time. It'll just pop up. And when that arises, the sense, the reaction, the feeling reaction is where I go. I use that as a means, and I bring the sense of lack to the truth. Okay. If you guys don't know what that is about money, and the way it relates to money is you never bought anything with money before, really. You only had a dream that you bought things with money. There's nothing that you need that money can buy. It's not like that. We've set that up. We're going to see through this. It's so amazing. We're going to see through this idea. And, you know, our mind is so powerful to make this illusion that we need money. And it's only an illusion that we need money because we wanted it. We wanted it as a distraction. This is so distracting. It seems like we have to do all this stuff and have all this stuff and do this money dance, so that we get distracted from the truth, we get distracted from knowing. People fight wars over it. It's like it's your livelihood. It was never our livelihood. We made it up. You know, it's all coming from within ourselves. We made this whole thing up. It's so beautiful to see, because I could see it occurring in my mind with, you know, having so many of my friends rejoice in the truth with me, just the whole world rejoicing in what's really true, and seeing how we do have exactly what we need, and how this is a paradise. You know, there's not even anything that can harm you here. There's not, we're just projecting that, and then it makes the sense. So, you know, when it comes to stuff like that, let's take something small. I was walking up the stairs the other day, and all of a sudden, ow, something went in my foot. It was like a splintery thing was just sticking straight up in the carpet. So I took it out. I took it out of the carpet. Oh, it was like, what the heck is that doing? Sticking up in the carpet. And then there's recognition. Oh, I see. That reaction. There it is. There's the reaction right there. There's no carpet. There's no splinter. This isn't on accident. This is for a feeling. Not only the sense, a little bit of pain. Yeah, hallelujah. Not only the sense, the little bit of pain in the foot, shocking. It was kind of like, ooh, you know, it wasn't intense or anything. But then the sense of kind of like I've been betrayed. I'm in my own house, walking up my own stairs, barefoot. And then there's, what the fuck? There's a feeling sense. That's what's used as the means. You see, guys, it's just like every little thing you can use. And you know, it's like whenever you let these things pass you by and you stay in that thinking, sleepy thinking mode, all you're doing is projecting, and that hurts. It hurts way worse than getting a splintering foot. So, hooray, everyone. I might have a half hour left. I'm not sure. I'll take any questions if you have them. And I might be winding down. Oh, I realized it's the 4th of July, you guys. Happy 4th of July. I know there's a bunch of fireworks happening. I think I'm going to go do some fireworks with some peeps. Not actually do them, but look at them. Go watch them. We've done that for a long time. Me and my son, Braun, my youngest son, Braun. Blaze used to do it with us too, but he's working tonight. We used to do them out in the yard. Now we go to a show. There's a big show out in Bayfront, right over the water. It's beautiful. So we'll go check that out. And yeah, unless you guys have any questions or anything, I am feeling complete. Of course, you never know what's going to happen. So, okay, closing. Go to hopejohnson.org if you want to get my book. I recommend my book to everyone. It's called Unschooling for Parents. Okay. I recommend it to everyone. You can buy it through my website, hopejohnson.org. And you know what? It will go through, it'll go over to Miracle Botanicals and you can buy it through there. And then I will actually autograph it. If you don't want to buy it through there, you can buy it through Amazon. You might be able to get it free if you're on Prime on a Kindle. Or you can just buy the book on Amazon. If you like that. You can also go to hopejohnson.org on the Wisdom Dialogues tab to sign up for Wisdom Dialogues. Call you, okay? Okay. Go to the Wisdom Dialogues tab and you can sign up there. Click the link to sign up if you want to get on to the Zoom calls with me. You can also play the recordings there. You can get hooked up with a Spotify or whatever other podcast program you want to listen to Wisdom Dialogues. I record the in-person ones for the audio, and these ones are obviously video. And that's so fun. You can also donate to me there. That's awesome. I love getting donations. I am still doing Buzzsprout. I'm paying for the Buzzsprout and Zoom to be on with you every week, and definitely don't mind doing that. It's super fun. So if you feel like leaving a donation, please do. You can go to hopejohnson.org and you can see a donate button there. Freedom is just an illusion. Yes, freedom is just an illusion. And I have a Freedom Essential Oil blend to remind you that you are already free, because no one's going to give you the freedom. You are free. You're a creator, a very powerful creator who is dreaming. And in dreams, you don't create anything. Your power of creation is in a choice that you make between making the world real or denying it any reality. Thank you for loving my oils too, Jerry. I love the Freedom Blend, by the way. That was one that sold pretty well last night. People like that one. And Malu. People really like Malu. That means serenity. M-A-L-U. You can also type in serenity and get it. So yeah, have fun, you guys. And miraclebotanicals.com to shop the best essential oils in the world, packaged now by me. Yeah, I'm packaging your essential oils. So isn't that so fun? I'm really happy to do it. It's really fun. I love you so much. And I'll be back next Monday online, live with you. I look forward to it. Aloha and a hui ho. I love you, Asana.